Welcome to Mystic Realms Recap. Please like, share, and subscribe. Enjoy today's episode.
Booming. The explosion sounded on the owl, plus Yibei's voice. In the hall, those high-level beast gods were all terrified to the extreme. Quickly, jump into space immediately, enter the sea, absorb the water source to replenish energy, and leave here at the fastest speed. A beast god's voice is out of control. I would rather die in the universe than on Earth, in the mouth of this disgusting monster. There are also beast gods who keep retreating. Snake Lion, you should think of a way. It is you who brought up the Earth, and from the beginning, you also promised that there is nothing wrong here. If this continues, everyone will be finished. And the beast decisively blamed the snake and lion. It's over. Space jump requires energy, and the ship has been damaged, and even the intelligent beast gods are destroyed by electromagnetic pulse. It is impossible to leave. Since the monster is here, talk to him. When saying this, the snake and lion gritted their teeth. As a civilization that can travel the universe, beast gods often deal with other races, and this is also a necessary condition for the survival of the major races in the universe. Since Yibei cannot be defeated now, it is undoubtedly the best way to talk to him. Okay, it can only be this way. I listen to snakes and lions. The beast is civilized and strictly hierarchical. As the supreme commander of this vanguard warship, no one dares to refute his orders. Chi. And outside the battleship, after Yibei's body hit the Oolong, the next moment, the ridges on his back spread directly. Then the body spins like an electric drill, according to the specific position observed in the field of mental power. At the fastest speed, Yibei drilled in the direction of the hall where the beast civilization was located. Rumble. Ch. ZZZ. All the way the flames bring lightning. The Oolong suffered unprecedented damage. Even the extent of this damage is more eye-catching than passing through an unstable wormhole. 1 second, 2 seconds, 10 seconds. Yibei's speed was too fast. After the 10th second, boom, through the thick metal layer, his 1,500-meter-long body appeared directly in the hall where the high-level beast gods gathered. When Yibei appeared, all the beast gods stared at Yibei. As for Yibei, after entering the hall, his body was entwined together. ZZ. The white electromagnet on his body disappeared completely in an instant, and all the ridges erected on his back were calmed down. However, even so, the powerful breath that Yibei exudes made the surrounding air seem to be frozen, and his eyes, which were twice the size of a basketball, began to observe the hall in a comprehensive manner. A super battleship with a diameter of more than 20,000 meters. The internal structure is divided into 9 floors, each with an area of tens of thousands of square meters, various magical smart devices, incredible technology, and even energy storage. In this hall, it belongs to the 2nd floor, with a total area of more than 15,000 square meters. To be honest, everything here is really enough to shock me. Chi. Yibei appeared, and within 2 seconds, he spit out the letter and said lightly, "Say this." In the hall, the bodies of the beast gods trembled fiercely. "Have you seen the battleship Oolong before?" The beast asked instinctively. "How could we know so much detail? We just came here today." There were also beast gods who were surprised. "Has our information been leaked?" The snake lion took a step back. For these voices, Yibei directly ignored. After observing the general layout of the Oolong, then he turned his attention to the beast gods. Snake body and lion head. Horse face and body. These are fairly normal. In addition to these, many beast gods can't see what kind of animal they are composed of, and they can be as strange as they are. However, one thing is the same. The eyes of these beast gods are very shrewd and full of endless wisdom. At the same time, their bodies are very big. The largest, even the body is as high as 100 meters. Of course, compared with Yibei, the current beast is as small as an ant. I was shocked when I first met the beast god on the Lost Island, but now, I find that it's nothing more than that. Let's talk. How do you plan to compensate for our snake civilization next? Chi. Yibei spit out Shinzi, his eyes deep and unceremonious. And, while speaking, his appetite kept swelling. After the evolution, when Yibei saw these beast gods, a large amount of data immediately appeared in his mind. Snake Lion. Value evolution points 50,000. 500 genetic evolution points. Ma Xiang. 48,000 points for value evolution. 480 points of genetic evolution. Maohu. 50,000 points for value evolution. 500 genetic evolution points. A lot of data is beating in Yi Bei's mind. These points made Yi Bei's heart constantly eager to move. When Yi Bei was observing these beast gods, they also looked at Yi Bei seriously. That huge body made every beast on the scene extremely desperate. However, after listening to Yi Bei's words, as the supreme responsibility of the Aolong battleship Snake Lion took the initiative to come out. However, the snake and lion hadn't spoken yet, but a beast next to him was the first to speak. The earth is the origin of our civilization. This time we come back, at best, it can only be regarded as returning to our hometown. There is nothing wrong with me. I also admit that you are very powerful, beyond our expectations. However, this does not mean that you really won. This time our warship was damaged when it passed through the wormhole. The highest intelligence system could not be activated, and only the spare one could be used. In addition, many weapons have not been repaired yet. Otherwise, it is not always true who wins and loses. And not long ago, we have sent the situation on Earth back to the universe base of our beast civilization. If we all die, it won't take long for the entire planet to be destroyed. If you are smart, you will never dare to slaughter us. If you are interested, best. Puff. Yi Bei squinted his eyes, originally listening with great interest. But when the threatening voice came out, in the next instant, Yi Bei's body disappeared in front of all the beast gods. A puff of sound appeared in the hall. Puff, puff. Immediately afterwards, a large amount of blood sputtered out, and the beast who spoke just now was swallowed by Yi Bei. Hiss. The whole hall was silent. The other beast gods who were about to speak were terribly frightened by this scene, and a strange smell of blood continued to spread in the air. Congratulations to the host for successfully devouring a beast god, earning 50,000 evolution points and 500 genetic evolution points. Please continue to devour the host. Click, click. Swallow the beast in one bite. Yi Bei ignored the fearful gazes around him. The sharp and neat teeth in the mouth moved up and down, clicking, and the sound of clicking kept making. This is the first time Yi Bei has devoured a beast god. With the sound of the system, Yi Bei only felt a warm energy began to spread in his body. The taste is smooth and tender. Delicious. The moment it enters the mouth, it is immediately transformed by the system, without any impurities. The beast gods, who are higher than humans, far surpass humans in terms of taste and energy. Even while chewing, Yi Bei's appetite soared, and he almost couldn't help devouring the second beast god. How dare you? It took 5 seconds for the beast to react. His eyes widened, his body backed, and he looked at Yi Bei. It was clear that their looks were disgusting and terrifying enough, but they didn't realize it at all. Treat it as a real monster. I just proved it to that guy. The end of too much nonsense is to become my food. Guys, you should figure out the situation now. You don't have any qualifications to negotiate. Next, I ask questions, and you just answer obediently. Tick, tick. Yi Bei said calmly, the blood ticking at the corner of his mouth, ticking down on the floor of the hall. Once swallowed countless humans, he was used to it. To devour a beast now, it was nothing to Yi Bei now. Is the Bermuda Triangle a wormhole? Where is the other side of the wormhole? Yi Bei glanced across these beast gods and finally landed on a beast at random, asking in a commanding tone. The beast who was stared at by Yi Bei only felt stunned and his body trembled. I don't know. When speaking, his teeth kept trembling. Where is the arrogance of the first time on Earth? Puff. It's just. When he just finished his answer, Yi Bei turned into a silvery white afterimage. In a flash, the beast became the food in Yi Bei's mouth, and he didn't have any chance to resist. Trouble. This monster doesn't make sense at all. In the hall, the atmosphere was gloomy and cold. While the eyes of these beast gods were full of fear, the voices in their hearts continued. The weak eat the strong. There is no right or wrong between civilized races, only strengths and weaknesses. The beast civilization, who knew this kind of truth, began to delusion in his heart to reason with Yi Bei, which is ridiculous. I hate wordy words the most, and there are guys who don't know anything. Before coming here, I analyzed. The ones who can stand in this hall are the high-level beast gods of this battleship. Next, Chi. Yi Bei unceremoniously put his gaze on another beast god. After the animal was stared at, his body trembled violently. Having learned the lesson before, he has learned a lot. Bermuda Triangle is an artificial wormhole built when our beast civilization left the Earth. And the other side of the link is the Centaur constellation. I will tell you what I know. As long as you don't kill me, I can guarantee that I will never come to Earth again. Puff. The sound just fell. The beast was swallowed by Yi Bei without exception. Just answer the questions well. Where does so much nonsense come from? Spit out the letter. The voice was cold, and the next moment, he focused on the snake and lion. This guy is the smallest among all the beast gods in the hall. However, the aura that exudes from him is extremely strong, even with a sense of historical vicissitudes. After feeling Yi Bei's gaze, the snake and lion trembled suddenly. The feeling of fear and death in my heart continued to strengthen. This battleship is called Aolong. There are 55 high-level beast gods, including you, and 223 ordinary beast gods. Since they are here on Earth, stay here. In addition, I also confiscated this battleship, by the way. Yi Bei stared into the eyes of the snake and lion. When he spoke, the appetite in his eyes did not hide. Even if it is destroyed, this battleship will not be given to you. Snake Lion's complexion was hard to see the extreme. Yi Bei's understanding of Aolong made him extremely frightened. After saying this, the next moment, he turned to look at the 3D intelligent beast projection in the lobby. Immediately activate the self-detonation device. Once the beast here dies more than 2/3, it will directly destroy the entire battleship. Yes, the red alert on the intelligent beast kept on, but the self-detonation device was turned on immediately. Interesting group of guys. However, to Yi Bei's eyes, the snake lion's method is simply ridiculous. Then you will all become my food. Just right. If you swallow all of you, maybe it will evolve again. ZZ. The voice fell, and the majestic killing intent suddenly rose in the hall. Puff, puff, puff. These high-level beast gods did not even have the opportunity to seriously surrender, and such voices began to resound continuously. Congratulations to the host for successfully devouring a beast god, gaining 48,000 evolution points and 480 gene points. Congratulations to the host for successfully devouring a beast god, gaining 45,000 evolution points and 450 genetic points. The system prompts constantly resounding. Okay, as it continues to swallow. A stream of terrible energy began to spread in Yi Bei's body, causing Yi Bei's dark eyes to turn red again. The meat of the beast is delicious. Entering the mouth, with the help of the system, there is still a fragrant feeling. As the number of swallows increases, what makes Yi Bei most amazed? When the beast was swallowed, the data did not drop at all. And his own strength is increasing crazily, and there is a faint tendency to overcome the genetic limitation of the Titan python at any time and directly break through to the sky swallowing python. 10 heads. There was a strange smell of blood in the air, and the other beast gods were frightened by the terrifying killing. 30 heads. The breath of death enveloped the entire hall. 50 heads. Almost in the blink of an eye, Yi Bei swallowed all the high-ranking beast gods in the Aolong battleship. There were only 5 left on the scene. The snake lion was lucky enough to be left by Yi Bei last. However, his mentality has completely collapsed at this moment. Snake and lion could not even dream that the monster with wisdom in front of him would dare to start killing so directly. Isn't he really afraid that the army of beast civilization will crush the realm and revenge wildly? And just when the snake and lion couldn't figure it out, Yi Bei, who was silent in the delicious food and the pleasure of devouring, glanced at him with that cold gaze. DDD. In the hall, the blood of those high-ranking beast gods made the floor sticky. And the 3D intelligent beast projection is even more beeping. And the entire projection has all turned red, and the alarm has opened the final countdown. Alert! The self-detonation of the battleship Aolong has been activated. The countdown begins. 10, 9, 8. Blue on. At this time, even the snake and lion can no longer stop it. In this battleship, there are tens of thousands of spiritual orbs. Once it explodes, the power generated is enough to completely destroy half of the Earth. You are now at the core position. There is no possibility to escape. Monster, you are dead now up. The snake lion had a hideous face, and after feeling Yi Bei's majestic killing intent, he said fiercely, "Zizi." And when he said the last word, Yi Bei clearly saw that the snake and lion's eyes still showed a sly smile. Open the exile space. The spare escape ship is launched. Such a sound came from the snake and lion's mouth. Chi. The next moment, in front of him and the four other beast gods who were still alive, a distorted space appeared directly, and the same situation appeared in front of the other ordinary beast gods in the entire battleship. As a cosmic super battleship, Aolong naturally has a way to escape. The exile space is the key to Aolong's escape. As a separate space, under the control of the intelligent beast god, it is placed on a spare escape ship. The most important thing is that there are billions of humans in that space that can serve as food and energy. Exile space. Laugh. Yi Bei's eyes condensed. Originally, he was curious about where the beasts and god civilization had taken the humans on the earth. After hearing this word, he immediately had a judgment. If it was correct, it must belong to a separate space like the Death Forest. However, these beast gods wanted to escape in front of Yi Bei too easily. Bullet time. Turn it on. Mind moved slightly, and the next moment, in Yi Bei's line of sight, the entire world's time seemed to be suspended. The space in front of the snake and lion was twisted and was sucking him in. His eyes were filled with a grinning smile, and he felt that Yi Bei was bound to die. The other four beast gods next to him, some of their hands entered the space vortex, some heads enter the space vortex, and the picture freezes. This scene looks extremely strange. 7. The blue reminder of the intelligent beast was also completely frozen. After the number 7 was reported, the whole hall was extremely quiet. The blood flowing on the floor of the hall stopped. The dust floating in the air also hovered quietly. Yi Bei is the only thing that can move the whole world. After crossing the 3 stages of genetic evolution, the bullet time has increased too much compared to before. When I came to Washington, I had used it 5 times along the way. Now I continue to use it, and I don't even feel tired at all. Chi. Spit out Shinzi. Yi Bei immediately started to act when he said this. Puff. The scarlet letter rolls the snake and lion directly into his mouth. As the supreme commander of the Aolong, the snake and lion didn't even understand to death. Why would he die soon after entering the exile space? Puff, puff. Yi Bei's devouring continued. Devouring these beast gods, he did not have any psychological pressure. 100, 200. In bullet time, Yi Bei's speed was extremely fast. In less than 2 seconds, all the beast gods on the entire Aolong battleship were swallowed by Yi Bei. From the fearlessness of the vanguard battleship of the beast civilization when it landed on Earth, to the complete destruction now, the transformation between this directly stunned the golden lion in the distance, Wang Wen and the others, even the 51st of the United States. The Morpheus in the district also felt incredible. After all, at the beginning, Morpheus vowed to say that the technology of the beast civilization was enough to crush everything. Click, click. After devouring so many beast gods, Yi Bei was enjoying that kind of pleasure. However, at this time, the system suddenly reminded Yi Bei to be overjoyed. Congratulations to the host for successfully devouring the entire vanguard of the beast civilization. An extra space for exile. At the same time, you can get enough evolution points and gene points to start the final stage of evolution of the Titan Python at any time. The voice of the system was excited. Of course, Yi Bei was the most excited after hearing this voice. After only 2 months in the Death Forest, the evolution was completed. I originally thought that it would take a long time to cross the species and evolve into the sky-swallowing python, but I did not expect that the goal would be achieved so easily. The most rare thing is that he also accidentally obtained an exile space, the area of which is not under the Dead Forest at all. Very good, system. How do you collect the exile space? Yi Bei couldn't wait. If it didn't take time to complete the evolution of the sky-swallowing python, he would now go straight into the death forest. The exile space has been collected. The host can check it by himself. The system answers, okay. In the next moment, Yibei really felt that there was something more in his body. It seems that as long as one's own consciousness moves a little, it can be linked to a magical space. But Yibei has not had time to check the situation of the exile space, and the bullet time ability suddenly ends. The explosion countdown sound of the 3D intelligent beast projection reached Yibei's ears. It is 3 seconds before the battleship Aolong explodes. Damn it, Yibei growled. The Aolong is 20,000 meters in diameter, and there are countless energy sources inside. Once it explodes, the consequences will really be as the snake and lion said before, and most of the earth will be razed to the ground. But while Yibei was angry, he thought of a crazier way. Death forest, open. Drink low in your mouth. Ho! The next moment, the space in front of Yibei quickly distorted, and under his control, the distorted space in this space was getting bigger and bigger. Almost in the blink of an eye, this opening was torn in the sky over Washington. More than 10,000 meters. Terrible suction, sucking up the debris of numerous battle buildings on the ground. Immediately after, an unbelievable scene appeared. The battleship Aolong, which was counting down to its self-detonation, was being sucked into the death forest little by little with that huge body. Over Washington, there seemed to be a huge black hole. The whole world, endless energy is surging. 1 second, 2 seconds. At last, at the moment when the Aolong was about to explode, he was completely swallowed by the death forest, and Yibei was also sucked in. The core of the war, 5 kilometers away. 09 Small Saynet. The Golden Lion, Wang 1, Caesar, Chunhuakyu, pleasure-seeking, and the spacecraft where the countless mutant beasts were located, finally calmed down completely, but the shock in their eyes was undiminished. The battleship of the beast civilization disappeared. Roar. The Golden Lion growled. The king's breath is gone. Could it be that they used the space to jump and move to another place? Caesar boldly imagined. The power of the beast gods themselves is not strong. Since the king has entered the interior, we must have won this battle. Maybe the king is worried that the beast civilization will die and the net will be broken, so he moved the place. Next, I think everyone should think about it. How to clean up the aftermath of the war. Chi. Wang Wen spit out the letter, very calm. After saying this, everyone became quiet, and the warship deck looked condescendingly at the desolate United States. All the humans here were taken away by the animal civilization before, and now they don't know where they are. Those buildings are all in ruins. Even the homes built by many mutant beasts in these 2 months were completely destroyed. In the air, the smell of blood mixed with the smell of war smoke. As the super battleship disappeared, the sun penetrated the thick smoke and fell on the entire country and on the ruins of the building. The light is dim. ZZ. Among the ruins, the branches and leaves of big trees drilled out from time to time, making noises. Do not know why. These mutant beasts standing on the spaceship all felt throbbing in their hearts when looking at this scene. Next, rebuild the Earth. The key is to deal with alien life uniformly. After this war is over, we must make a good plan. Regarding the roles and status of various races on the Earth, all are to plan. The Golden Lion whispered, "Yeah, the war should basically be over. Our strength is still too weak." Wang Wen uttered a letter. The meaning of civilization is prosperity. It is our goal to make the Earth more prosperous than human civilization before. Of course, we have to become stronger. The technology we have now has to continue to improve. Caesar spoke. When the mentality of these mutant beasts changed one after another. The United States, 51 District. District Chief, the warship of the beast civilization has disappeared. Did they run away? Neo was very puzzled. The death rays of the snake gods, as well as the electromagnetic pulse power, can cause damage to the warship, and the information we have on the civilization of the beasts can be seen. Although they are very strong in wisdom and size, they are definitely not snake gods. Opponent. The zombie entered the battleship before. As a result, you don't need to think about it. Morpheus took a deep breath. Trinina asked. Then, What about the humans from the major countries that surrendered before? Neo. Yes, billions of people have been taken away by the animal civilization. It should be in a separate space. Morpheus pondered for a few seconds. The civilization of the beast gods has failed, and we don't have to stay here. If it's right, the future Earth will face each other in invasion of civilization. Although I am only an intelligent life, I have been on the Earth very early. Therefore, I am going to move out the 51st district and merge with the snake civilization, share technology, and build more powerful technology. What? Neo and Trinina trembled. The 51st district has existed for hundreds of years. Everyone has always lived here and never went out. The most important thing is that there are countless of the most famous scientists in history. If the 51st district is really released, how big a sensation and how much change will it bring to the Earth? Just thinking about it is scary enough. I know what you are worried about. The development of any civilization is one step at a time. If we used advanced technology before, it would disrupt the order of human civilization and cause huge chaos. But now it is different. The emergence of civilization and snake civilization has completely changed the entire Earth. Evening has arrived, and dawn is not too far away. Now is our 51st district, the best opportunity to return to Earth's civilization. Morpheus muttering, a gleam of light flashed in his eyes. Trinina and Neo were silent after listening. However, the gradual anticipation in the eyes of the two of them is enough to see their thoughts. Russia, above the white snow field. The Emperor is holding an encrypted satellite communicator in his hand and is currently talking with the head of the Huaxia state. The civilization of the beast gods has failed. Whether it is an electromagnetic pulse gun or a positron gun, it has no effect on the zombie gods. The strongest nuclear weapons we have in our hands have also lost their use. Even the world is only left now. China and Russia are now, and facts have proved that the real alien creatures are even more terrifying. For them, human beings are worse than ants. Billions of people disappearing is enough to see the problem. So I think the best way in the future it is to cooperate with the snake civilization. The Emperor murmured, and when he spoke, his eyes were full of vastness. Lost humanity loses a lot. Loses animality, loses everything. Obviously, we humans are not wild enough now. However, the most critical question now is not whether we are willing to cooperate, but whether the snake civilization is willing. The voice of the head of the Chinese nation came out. After the Russian emperor listened, there was a moment of silence. The surrounding air became colder. Death forest. Wow. The vines of all plants shook wildly. When the battleship Aolong appeared here, under the control of Yi Bei's mental power domain, those plants surrounded the body of the Aolong at the fastest speed. 1. Blast on. Rumble. In the battleship hall, Yi Bei's eyes were blood red. After the intelligent beast god's announcement ended, a huge vibration sounded, and then immense power was generated around, and Yi Bei was surrounded by fierce flames. Booming. Chi. The power of the explosion is too great. Most of the tree vines entwined towards the battleship Aolong were turned into fragments by the violent shock wave and scattered everywhere. And those tree vines that came into contact with the battleship were directly evaporated by the high temperature at the moment of explosion, and nothing was seen. Booming. The explosion came after another. The plants in the dead forest, centered on the battleship, scattered wildly. Only less than 3 seconds passed. All the green branches that can be seen have been destroyed. But, at this moment, Yi Bei, who was at the center of the battleship, withstood all the explosive power, slowly turned his entire body into a fiery red. Bang bang. The battleship exploded, and countless metal fragments hit Yi Bei's body severely. The crackling noise kept appearing. Yi Bei's body is too strong. Although the impact of these fragments is strong, it cannot cause any harm to him. Hulala. Of course, with the explosion fragments, there was an extremely hot flame around. The hot flame has a temperature of tens of thousands. However, for Yi Bei, who has the ability to breathe fire, these are not a big deal. The body is still entrenched. Yi Bei's appearance looked even more calm. In fact, he could completely distort the space in front of him at this moment and then leave this place, but he did not do so. System, You can swallow endlessly. Even flames and electromagnetic guns can be swallowed. So can the energy of this explosion be swallowed together? eBay looked very crazy when he said this. Of course, but in the process of the explosion, the host will also be seriously injured, and the energy that can be swallowed is limited. I hope the host can grasp it by himself. The system answers. I know. eBay opened his mouth decisively. Let the violent energy from the explosion rush towards his body. Survival value, 95. Survival value, 80. As the explosion occurred, eBay was consuming energy while a string of numbers in his mind was constantly beating. 09 small saynet. Survival value, 50. When the value reached this point, eBay obviously felt his body weakened a lot. However, when he swallowed that violent energy, eBay felt that his entire body was filled with a powerful energy. As long as the explosion was completely over, his body would instantly recover. Booming. The explosion continued. The plants in the entire dead forest were all pushed across by this terrible shock wave. Even this space was shaking crazily, as if it would collapse at any time. Survival value, 0. When reaching this number, eBay finally began to get nervous. Once the number becomes 0, I will really die? But now, even if eBay wants to retreat, it is impossible. Survival value, 10. When the number jumped here, the voice of the system also came. Host, the explosion is almost over. This is a bit unusual. If there is real danger, the system will definitely make eBay retreat. But now it reminds eBay that it is about to end. It is good. Drink low in your mouth. 09 small saynet. eBay decided to take a gamble. Survival value 1. Booming. When the numbers arrived at this place, they came to an end. The temperature of the entire dead forest has risen dozens of times. The air is full of mutilated debris from the explosion. On the ground, there were no more of those poor plants. Even the ground was lifted more than 2 meters deep, and the roots of many plants were destroyed by this explosion. Did you succeed? Booming. The sound of the explosion slowly decreased. Survival value. In my mind, the survival value information has actually increased a bit. eBay, who was originally wondering whether he was successful, saw the number beating. His eyes were all excited. The voice of the system also sounded at the right time. Congratulations to the host for successfully swallowing 0 equivalent explosive energy. The body will undergo a series of changes next. Please be patient. Sure enough, eBay said excitedly. The battleship exploded. The solid metal was turned into fragments, and eBay, who was originally in the hull, fell directly from it. Boom. The body fell on the ground of the destroyed death forest. This energy is so vast, eBay continued, saying that eBay didn't care about his weak survival value. After falling on the ground, he immediately entangled himself. Although the explosion energy he had just absorbed was only a small part, at this moment, eBay could clearly feel that energy was incredibly hot and wandering madly in his body. It was even more refreshing than the feeling when he swallowed hundreds of beast gods. It's as if the whole body is bathed in a sauna. System, after the power of the explosion is swallowed, what benefits will it bring? Enjoying this pleasure, eBay also curiously asked the system. The host's anti-stress level is enhanced, and the host's body will be improved during the explosion. The specifics are based on the energy absorbed. Living things are also composed of energy, and the explosion also produces energy, but it needs to be converted. The system answers. Is it really possible? eBay's eyes became brighter. The energy of a single creature is too weak, but the explosive power is different. If it is proved that the evolution can be carried out by relying on the explosion, after this time, eBay can go back and let the mutant monkeys and humans continue to make bombs. Although this way is quite brutal. Of course, when the host is strong enough, even the planet can be swallowed directly. For example, the sun. The energy it contains is not known how many times this level of explosion. The system gives a very ambitious goal. eBay, who was enjoying the nourishment of energy, his breathing became dignified unconsciously. At the beginning, he had considered raising humans in captivity as a source of food and energy. From now on, Letting humans act as labor and mass-produce weapons that can generate huge amounts of energy is obviously more effective. That's great. After evolving into the sky-swallowing python, it is time to completely integrate the Earth. Yi-Bei spit out the letter. The energy in the body is still impacting rapidly. 10 seconds later, Yi-Bei's survival value has been restored to 100 points. And when it exploded before, the wounds scraped out by those metal fragments on Yi-Bei's body were completely restored. Ooh, every breath becomes bigger than before. It was already able to reach the evolutionary qualification of the sky-swallowing giant python. But now that he has absorbed this energy, Yi-Bei feels that once he evolves next, he may cross another level. 20 seconds later, the explosion energy that Yi-Bei had swallowed just now had all merged. The blood is boiling. That powerful breath surged crazily. At this time, Yi-Bei had an unprecedented confidence in his heart. If he faced a battleship of the Aolong level again, he would not have any problem swallowing the entire battleship in one bite. Since you are here, let's complete it together. The system directly start the evolution of the sky-swallowing python. Feeling the powerful force in his body, Yi-Bei immediately said to the system, "The Death Forest is in ruins at this moment." 09 Small Saynet. The violent energy in the air spreads wantonly. Said this space is also very miserable. All the living plants here have been subjected to intensive training. From the time they were transplanted here on the experimental island, I don't know how many times they were destroyed. Fortunately, they live in a special way and can quickly recover. But this time it was destroyed. All the living plants here have undergone abnormal changes. I was entrenched in the ruins and was about to start the evolution of the sky-swallowing giant python. After feeling this change, I could not help but release the mental power domain to observe it. Then, many surprises appeared in his eyes. In the field, Yi-Bei could see the situation in the entire dead forest very clearly. In the surrounding air, there was smoke and debris from the explosion, the violent energy fluctuations constantly hitting back and forth. If it wasn't for Yi-Bei's body to resist pressure strong enough, it would be estimated that he would be chopped into countless pieces by the energy turbulence in an instant when another creature came here. But in this case, on a piece of scorched earth after the explosion, a green vine pushed the soil apart with a bang. ZZ. Immediately afterwards, Yi-Bei was shocked to discover that the vine had grown a leaf, greedily absorbing the power in the surrounding air. The green body, with the continuous absorption, the color was rapidly deepening. 09 Small Saynet. Boo. Boo. Ch. Click, click. The first vine appeared. Then the second, third, 10th. The living plants that had been destroyed by the explosion before all broke out of the ground at this moment and grew crazily. The violent power in the air, as they continue to absorb it, has shown a straight decline. Unbelievable. These living plants can also absorb the energy produced by the explosion? Are they evolving? Seeing this, Yi-Bei couldn't help but exclaimed, "If this is the case, how powerful should these plants continue to evolve?" Sahara and East China Sea God Tree. With their evolutionary speed, one tree is actually enough to cover the entire planet. Host. Living plants that have evolved to the top are in the universe, and there is another name. They are called cosmic trees, also called cosmic magic trees, dead plants, planet destroyers, biological terminator. When any living body, when the tree evolves to the strongest, one of their seeds falls on the planet and can absorb all its resources as quickly as possible. Then the planet explodes and the seeds float in the universe to find the next target. If it cannot be effectively stopped, eventually all the entire universe will become their food, and this kind of plant has another characteristic. When it develops to the top, they will not allow two plants to exist on the same planet. 09 Shog Saynet. Just when Yi-Bei exclaimed the abnormality of the living tree, the system suddenly said something like this. What? Yi-Bei was surprised, but seriously thinking about the power of living plants. There is indeed such a possibility. Then, when they evolve to be strong enough, can I control these plants? Then he asked. This is what Yi-Bei cares most about. The host is very lucky. When they first came into contact with these living plants, they were still very weak, and the host has reached a certain spiritual influence with them. The living plants in the entire dead forest will naturally obey the host's life. This is like when they were children, the host had adopted them and established the most basic relationship. Call. Hearing the answer from the system, Yibei immediately felt relieved. Living plants. I have always underestimated them. Looking at it now, they are the most powerful assistants. With the existence of these guys, it is easy to control which planet in the future. Even at this moment, Yibei has imagined a certain day, the entire universe, all above the stars are covered by living plants, the scene of brilliant flowers blooming. The evolution of the sky swallowing python begins. Yibei was entrenched on the ground and did not let the living plants cover him. The sound fell, and a wave of majestic energy rushed madly in his body. And Yibei's body also lost control at this moment, unable to move, and his consciousness was as clear as ever. If it was before, Yibei must have begun to observe the changes in his body. But now that he expanded the field of mental power, it was all used to observe the performance of living plants. Under the field of mental power, as those branches and leaves emerged from the soil, the violent energy in the air was absorbed by these plants almost in the blink of an eye. In the dead forest, there are a lot of living plants. But before, these plants have a characteristic, they are basically green. It's different now. After absorbing these energy, the body color of these plants has also undergone tremendous changes. For example, some living grasses have changed from green to bright red. Each blade of grass is sharp, gleaming with blood, and screams without wind. There is still countless energy flowing in it. If you lose him going to a certain planet, it is estimated that within a day, he will become the overlord of that planet and completely cover the planet. Those living trees have also changed. The oolong is 20,000 meters in diameter, and its entire body uses a lot of rare cosmic metals. Then, some big trees have golden bodies, as if they have turned into gold, and even their branches and leaves are golden. They look indestructible, full of shock and beauty. When they sway, they make constant metal collision sounds. Some big trees have a silvery white body. The leaves are rattling without wind, and the leaves are sharp and dazzling. Some big trees have alternate bodies of gold and silver. Others look bright, like diamonds. In addition, many plants have hidden heavy metal toxins. In short, this time, the entire dead forest has become dazzling, and each living plant has its own characteristics. It's incredible. When the trees of the Sahara and the East China Sea fall on the earth, they can continue to evolve and even appear wit. No problem was discovered at that time. Although the spaceship of the beast civilization exploded, a lot of research materials were wasted, but it was able to. It's also very cost-effective to let the living plants here evolve. After the sky-swallowing python has evolved this time, you should go to the Bermuda Triangle to see. By the way, there is also the Sahara. Seeing the changes in these living plants, Yibei murmured. I couldn't help but think of Sahara in my mind. Recently, he has been busy with the war. Yibei hasn't bothered about it. It was in the desert and was attacked by 100 nuclear weapons. So, how strong should he absorb the energy? Sahara Oasis. Wrong. It can't be described as an oasis here now. 09 Small Saynet. Ho. If a creature came here, it would probably not survive for 3 seconds. At every moment, there is an extremely violent nuclear storm sweeping through, whirring, and this land is all covered with dense dark black metal vines. Wow. These vines have different shapes, and they all have life. They are constantly shaking in the air, making noises. When Yibei's spiritual power domain covered this place, his eyes slowly widened when he saw this scene. Sure enough, the Sahara has already absorbed part of the energy in those 100 nuclear bombs. This is also the reason why those nuclear bombs did not have a significant negative impact on the Earth. Even these plant vines can continuously release nuclear weapons every moment. Radiation. The body has absorbed a lot of metal elements and armed all the branches and trunks. But when he was asked to control the living plants of half of the Earth, he did not pass this kind of energy. The wise Sahara knows exactly what kind of damage his body can cause to animals. When he saw the Sahara, Yibei said in secret, "It is the first living plant transplanted by Yibei. But now, it is undoubtedly the strongest. As long as Yibei issues an order, it will immediately sweep half of the Earth by a nuclear storm. Just think about how strong this destructive power is." Finished watching Sahara. Bei simply released the domain again and observed the East China Sea God tree. The purpose of releasing this tree was to cover Donghai City and isolate it completely. But now, the sacred tree of the East Sea has evolved freely and has become extremely powerful. Wow! The branches and leaves are constantly shaking, still tightly sealing the entire sky over Donghai City, and any satellite should not want to monitor it. Because from time to time there are people around trying to explore the East China Sea. During this period of time, the East China Sea God tree swallowed a large number of humans. At this moment, the body also changed color, slowly turning from emerald green to dark green, and even a faint redness. At the same time, during this time, it also absorbed a lot of various substances deep underground. It's just that without Bei's permission, he did not rashly evolve. The East China Sea God tree has not changed much, but it is also strong enough. If I can't control it, then, on this earth, no power can destroy it. After watching the East China Sea God tree, Bei was once again surprised. It wasn't until this time that he withdrew the mental power domain to observe the changes in his body. Booming. In the body, with that powerful energy breaking in, violent explosions are happening every moment. 09 Small Saynet. The old cells continue to explode and reorganize. In this process, every time recombination, the gene chain will produce certain changes. However, with the help of the system, Bei couldn't feel any pain in his body at all. Even when he was unable to move, Bei felt that he was extremely refreshed. Chi. The color on the surface of the body is slowly changing in the process of evolution. Itself is silvery white. The color keeps deepening, slowly changing towards the golden side. The color of the body has been changing since it became a python. It seems that after evolving into a giant swallowing python, the appearance will change to a certain extent. Bei spit out Shinzi and said softly. One day, all the genetic chains in the body snapped 100 times, and regrouped. 10 days. The cell becomes stronger than before. Bei even found that the blood in his body had changed from red. Numerous golden lines flowed in the blood, causing the blood to gradually become golden. 20 days. There is no red blood in the body anymore. All it is replaced by is golden. When the golden blood is flowing, extremely terrifying power is brewing in it, which looks mysterious, brilliant, and extremely shocking. The gene chain has turned into a transparent color, releasing a dazzling light, just like a chain made of diamonds. 30 days. In the dead forest, the living plants have all recovered, and they have completely absorbed Oolong's body and the energy of the explosion, becoming more than 10 times stronger than before. Moreover, these living plants are very clever to occupy all the expanded 50 square kilometers of the dead forest, and the number has increased a lot. However, when Bei was entrenched on the ground to evolve, they did not dare to be disturbed and kept guarding. Beside, the branches and leaves did not dare to move. On this day, the energy-storing power source in Bei's eyebrows turned into a semi-transparent diamond the size of a football, with colorful rays of light released from it at all times. Obviously, evolution is to consume energy. However, this source of power seems to be constantly accumulating energy, becoming more powerful and peculiar. 45 days. Bei found that his mental power had strengthened a lot again. Even with a slight movement of his mind, he could observe the potholes on the moon from the death forest. This ability was extremely strange. This also means that Bei itself is the strongest radar. Any danger, as long as you get close, you will be noticed for the first time, and the range can span the planet. This kind of change made Bei amazed. The sky-swallowing python, shouldn't it really be able to swallow the sky, right? The 50th day. Since the defeat of the pioneer battleship of the beast civilization, the Earth has ushered in a brief peace. Although Bei is not here, but with the help of Caesar and countless mutant beasts with wisdom, the Earth in ruins is being rebuilt at an incredible speed, and all the basic buildings rely on living trees to become stronger and more defensive. On this day, the growth of Bei's body length stopped, and the evolution of his body changed more towards the details. For example, the original 2 rows of hideous teeth and those fangs in the mouth have been rearranged during this period, and they look full of beauty, blending with Yi Bei's body without any abruptness. Those eyes were still pitch black. But if you look carefully, you will find that in the depths of the pupil, a group of dark flames, a silver-white lightning, and a dazzling death light. The three of them are constantly entwining and beating, as if they can destroy the sky. Ground. 60th day. On this day, laugh. Yi Bei, who closed his eyes, suddenly opened his eyes with a sneer, because on this day, he could clearly feel that the body of the sky-swallowing python was completely formed, booming. Ho-ho. On the earth, after the war, under the purification of living plants, it was originally a sunny day with a blue sky. But suddenly, there was a violent wind and continuous thunderstorms. In the blink of an eye, the entire earth was covered by thick, dark clouds. What happened? Will there be other cosmic life coming to Earth again? A mutant wolf, tilting his head, watching the changes in the sky, his body shivered and his mouth was constantly surprised. What a terrifying breath. It always feels like something big is going to happen. A few mutant ants are building their nests and they noticed the changes in the sky. They immediately speeded up and there was fear in their eyes. As ants, they can know the changes in climate in advance, but now this change, without any warning. Is it going to rain suddenly? In China, Russia, many humans hid in their houses. Recent changes in the world have completely disrupted human society. However, this also allowed the surviving humans to have a certain degree of immunity to terrible things that happened outside. At this moment, most humans are very calm. And in Donghai City, as the sky changed, Golden Lion, Wang Wan, Blood Moon, and Caesar quickly gathered together. This kind of energy is very similar to when Wang became stronger, but it is more than tens of thousands of times stronger than that time. Roar. The Golden Lion roared and looked at the sky with fear and awe in his eyes. I can feel the breath of the king. It should be caused by the king. Wang Wan nodded in agreement. Too strong. This time the king has disappeared for 2 months. He must be in the Death Forest. If he reappears, I don't know how strong he will become. At least he will face the super battleship of the beast civilization again. There will be no more threats. Caesar looked forward to. At the same time, he secretly made up his mind to speed up the development of science and technology and build more powerful weapons, so as to have a certain position in the snake civilization. But, just after they finished saying this, Golden Lion, Wang Wan, Blood Moon. As Yi Bei's apostles, the three of them can use the power that Yi Bei bestows. At this moment, their bodies trembled suddenly, and all of a sudden they only felt an immense power rising in their bodies. Just when weird changes are happening on this side of the Earth. In the universe, 2 forces are peering at this place. What? You said the Vanguard warship led by the snake and lion failed on the Earth? It blew itself directly and nothing was left. Ho-ho. Deep in the universe, in a black vortex, there is a spaceship full of metallic luster suspended inside. In the spaceship, there are all strange-looking beast gods. Among them, in one hall, a beast has a cold voice, with a bit of surprise, and he feels a little unbelievable. Yes, Your Excellency, just now, we received the encrypted signal transmitted from the Earth. All the data is here. The transmission method used for this data is transmitted at the speed of light, reaching 32 times the speed of light. From launch to today, a total of 60 Earth rotation days have passed. The beast next to him continued to speak. Show me the information. It is good. The next moment, in this hall, there was extremely silence. Another place, in the endless universe of galaxies. A giant snake with a body length of tens of thousands of meters is moving at will in the universe, and the body is not affected by the vacuum at all. Whoosh whoosh. Every moment, in his body, there is an extremely powerful fluctuation of mental power. Hey, there is an inanimate planet in front of it, with a large amount of dark gold hidden in it, which has a great impact on the strength of mental power. It's great. Boom. Without any hesitation, the giant snake rushed towards the planet fiercely. With a loud bang, the entire planet exploded directly, shattering into countless fast rocks and rushing wildly in the universe. And the dark gold substance in it was swallowed by this snake instantly. Immediately after, the mental power of this giant snake grew wildly, and his eyes were blood red. At the same time, a very weak mental power was transmitted to his mind. There are creatures who dare to kill the descendants of our star snake. Damn it! The murderous intent was boiling. In the next second, his gaze directly passed through countless stars and looked towards the Earth. Yes, this giant python that smashed the planet with one blow was an adult starry sky snake, famous for its spiritual strength in the entire universe. It was countless times stronger than the civilization of the beast god. Whoosh whoosh. At this moment, he quickly rushed towards the Earth. In the dead forest. Click, click, click. At the moment when Yi Bei became the giant swallowing python, the branches of the surrounding large living trees snapped and snapped. Rage power flows everywhere here. Laugh. Yi Bei, who opened his eyes, had three kinds of energy rays in his eyes, filled with excitement and excitement. This is the sky-swallowing python. This is not a legendary species, but a species that has never appeared before. It is a super body that simply relies on genetic evolution and increases in physical fitness. Chi. The letter was spit out, and Yi Bei said in surprise. In the realm of mental power, he carefully observed his current body. The whole body is golden. It looks like gold. On the surface of the body, there is a very clear sense of hierarchy, which looks very shocking. The spines on his back were sharp and golden light shone. The length has been increased to 3,000 meters, a full double, and the diameter has reached 100 meters. It is no exaggeration to say that Yi Bei swayed wildly on the earth with this body for a few times. Even without those abilities need to be used, and it will not take long for the entire earth to become ruins, and no creature can stop it. It's incredible. There have been times when the body turned golden before, but compared to the present, it is not at the same level. The current body seems to be made of gold. Yi Bei exclaimed again and again. Su. In the death forest, the leaves of the living big trees rustled, shaking with fear under the powerful breath of Yi Bei. Wow. After probably observing his body, Yi Bei's body moved a little, and the clattering sound continued. It's almost time to test my own strength, if the giant swallowing python can really swallow the sky. When he said this, Yi Bei was about to leave the dead forest directly. Just at this time, the voice of the system suddenly rang. Congratulations to the host for successfully evolving into the sky-swallowing python and obtaining a diamond treasure chest. At the same time during the host evolution, the technology that the snake civilization has left to the animal civilization crack all, reward 1,000 gene points. All mission hosts successfully completed. New missions have been released, and hosts can freely view them in the information panel. What? Hearing this, Yi Bei was overjoyed again. He almost forgot about the diamond treasure chest. This is a diamond treasure chest. The contents are absolutely very good without guessing. Diamond treasure chest. This is one of the highest among the treasure chest levels provided by the system. Moreover, it is the first time Yi Bei has obtained this level of treasure chest. Ho. After listening to the system's voice, Yi Bei's breathing became short. This thing is even more exciting than Yi Bei's evolution to become the sky-swallowing python. Very good, system. Then just open the diamond treasure chest. Yi Bei was entrenched on the ground, and when he spoke, his voice was very excited. Yes, host. ZZ. In the next moment, in front of Yi Bei, a huge treasure chest suddenly appeared. The whole body of this treasure chest is made of diamonds, crystal clear and extremely radiant, and it has been perfectly cut. It is clearly a transparent substance, but it is impossible to see what is inside. Click. There was a click first. Then, under Yi Bei's gaze, the diamond treasure chest opened little by little. An extremely dazzling light was released inside. What is it? If the diamond treasure chest must be very powerful, right? Seeing this treasure chest opened, Yi Bei breathed tightly. His eyes widened. This feeling was almost the same as when he first opened the treasure chest. Evolving to the level of Yi Bei, there is only this kind of thing that can make some changes in his mood. 1 second. 2 seconds. Yi Bei's head stretched out and couldn't wait. 3 seconds. Finally, the diamond treasure chest was completely opened. Okay. When he saw what was inside, Yi Bei's eyes condensed slightly. Then, in his pupils, The power of the three colors flowed wildly, and even his body was trembling fiercely. This is a super battleship? Yes. In Yi Bei's sight, inside the diamond treasure chest, a battleship suddenly stopped. Whole body golden. It looks full of explosive power and beauty, but it faintly exudes 7 different colors. System, this battleship is too small if it is placed in the treasure chest. If I'm not mistaken, can this battleship become bigger, right? Yi Bei asked. With this thing, he can do it now. The universe has traveled. Of course, this battleship is made of the strongest colorful metal in the universe. As the climate and the mood of the user change, the color of this battleship will also change differently, and each color corresponds to with different combat power. The battleship has not been named for the time being. Its largest form is 10,000 times the length of the host's body. As the host continues to evolve, the battleship Yi Bei has continued to grow, and even one day, its diameter can span the planet. The distance to the planet. The system explained. This, Yi Bei paused for a while. A battleship that can continue to evolve? 7 colors, 7 different combat capabilities. In the future, even its size, will it cross the planet? Yi Bei felt a little cloud and mist. Obviously, a battleship that looks so small is so powerful. Then, how should I use him? Yi Bei continued to ask. It's very simple. The host can swallow him. The system replied. Yi Bei, swallow the battleship? Okay. Yi Bei still believed in the system. He sneered. Then, with a roll of his letter, he swallowed the battleship in the diamond treasure chest. Huh. After swallowing, Yi Bei's eyes immediately stared. It's amazing, it's incredible. This battleship turned into energy and merged with my body. I feel that as long as my mind moves a little, I can instantly transform this battleship. You can even control it freely. It's the contents of the diamond treasure chest. This storage method and its structure are more than 10,000 times stronger than the warship of the beast civilization. Chi. Spitting out the scarlet letter, Yi Bei said excitedly. Of course, colorful metal can only be extracted by higher cosmic civilization, and this kind of warship is extremely rare in the higher cosmos. However, the host only has the right to use this warship. Under the limit of knowledge, it is forbidden to crack the technology. The system added. Enough. It just happens that the civilization of the beast gods will not take long before the army will return to the earth. Then use this battleship to let them feel the power. Yi Bei spit out the letter, slowly killing the civilization of the beast gods back to earth again. Great expectations were generated. If the Overlord doesn't release this battleship, will you try the various weapons in it first? It can't be used here. By the way, if the system evolves into the sky-swallowing giant python, let me see the next tasks and the latest information. Yi Bei said seriously. Chi. As soon as the sound fell, the familiar screen immediately appeared in front of Yi Bei. The above densely recorded Yi Bei's current situation. Infinite evolution system. Host name, Yi Bei. Biological level, level 6. Classify the creatures in the universe. The weakest is level 0. The strongest is level 30. Please consult the system in detail and check the biological level classification. Age, 3/3000. Golden Flood Dragon. Evolutionary conditions, devour a dragon. The biological evolution points and gene points swallowed by this will be stored. The more the numbers, the stronger the strength will be when they evolve into the Golden Scorpion. Average level of ability, 8, from strong to weak. A total of 28 levels. 0 is the lowest. 28 is the highest. Currently, the host can use the ability. Please check with the system separately. Apostle, 3/10. You can find the system for details. In addition, no matter where the host is, all the abilities of the apostle host can be given and can be deprived at will. Treasures, Qiankuan Bag, has a usable area of 50 square kilometers. Colorful metal battleship. Territory, Azure Star. Physical condition, 3,000 meters long. Average diameter 100 meters. Pressure resistance level 4,000. Speed, 1,360 meters per second. Weight, 6,000 tons. 4,000 compression level. Roughly means that the host can completely resist the nuclear explosion with its body. Even in the center of the nuclear explosion, there will be no life threat. Survival value, 100 out of 100. Reminder, the system has been fully upgraded, and the database has been greatly updated. If necessary, the host can ask independently. Mission, defeat the super powerful beasts and god civilization from the Earth and resist their invasion. Reward, Jiaolong location information. Call. After reading the information, Yi Bei took a deep breath. Sure enough, a lot has changed. Unknowingly, 3 years have passed since he became a python. And what surprised Yi Bei the most was that his body can ignore the point of nuclear bombs. This kind of thing, when he was a human, he couldn't even think of it. In his original concept, any living thing, faced with a nuclear bomb, will undoubtedly die. Moreover, what amazes Yi Bei most is the way of evolution has also changed. No more evolution points and gene points. These two kinds of data will still make your body stronger, but you can no longer change the species. If you want to evolve further, you must swallow a flood dragon. And the system also gave a new task. As long as you defeat the beast god civilization, you can get the position of the dragon. As for the various forces in the body, all of them have changed. Very strong. Finally, Yi Bei only used these 2 words to describe his state. Chi. When the sound fell, the space in front of him quickly twisted. 2 more months have passed. It's time to go back to Earth and see. Chi. In the death forest, in front of Yi Bei, the distorted space emits terrible suction. His body was slightly submerged in this space. Ho. At the same time, the field of mental power was madly released, observing the situation of the Earth. Okay. However, when Yi Bei saw the current Earth, his eyes were slightly widened, and what he saw made him feel very incredible. At this moment, the entire Earth is surrounded by thick black clouds. Booming. Every moment, there are tens of meters thick lightning falling, accompanied by this terrible lightning, like a raindrop the size of a human thumb. It falls crazily from high altitude. Da-da-da. Every drop of rain is like a bullet. When it falls on the ground, it rattles. Is there any cosmic life coming to Earth again? Yi Bei spit out Shinzi and said unconsciously, this was also his first thought. Ho! The spiritual power domain was strengthened and it swept all over the Earth. However, the final result was that Yi Bei was very puzzled. There is no other aura around, and there is no abnormal life body. What is going on? System, can you explain it? The sky-swallowing python is the latest species, a brand new creature created by the host swallowing countless biological genes. The universe is so big, its own laws and rules exist. When a brand new species different from this universe appears, will definitely suffer a certain blow. These weathers are just simple natural phenomena, directed at the host. The system quickly gave an answer. Yi Bei paused for a while, and then he understood what was going on. When he evolved into a titan python before, he was also attacked by the harsh weather. Now this situation is similar to that time. This is the so-called heavenly tribulation. Last time, I could swallow those thunder and lightning, then there must be no problem this time. With that said, Yi Bei speeded up leaving the death forest. However, at this time, the system suddenly reminded, host. The colorful metal battleship can also absorb the power of this kind of thunder and lightning. Now its charging is not in its peak state. You can try to release it. Oh, Yi Bei's eyes lit up slightly. This battleship came out of the diamond treasure chest. To be honest, up to now, Yi Bei only guessed that he was very awesome, but he was not really sure how awesome he was. Well, mine moved. As Yi Bei's body entered the twisted spatial vortex, the battleship also appeared in the air simultaneously. Yi Bei wants to see the power of the battleship. But, at this moment, all the creatures on the whole Earth were terrified to the extreme. Donghe City. It's not good, King Caesar, something has happened. According to our observations, a huge change has taken place in the East China Sea. A huge battleship seems to have suddenly appeared. It is very likely that this bad weather was caused by the battleship. Yes, maybe the animal civilization is back again. A mutant monkey suddenly rushed over with both hands and feet and shouted, "Battleship!" Caesar trembled. Last time in Washington, the United States, he still remembered the destructive power of the warships of the beast civilization. If another battleship appeared, it would be terrifying to think about it. especially since Yi-Bei was not there yet. Yes, this is a scene shot on the spot. When talking, a metal watch on the monkey's wrist released a ray of light, and then a magical projection appeared, showing the situation of the battleship. In the projection, a silver-white warship appeared over the East China Sea. The battleship is huge, directly tearing the space apart, covering the sky and obscuring the sun. Compared with the battleship of the beast civilization, it is superior to countless levels. What is this? Caesar jumped up, and when he looked at the battleship, he was short of breath, his eyes widened. The hideous scars on his face and the monkey hair on his body exploded. His appearance was shocking. It wasn't just Caesar who was shocked. When warships appeared in the East China Sea, the entire planet was not an exaggeration. What a big battleship. It basically covers the entire East China Sea, with a diameter and length of more than 30 million meters. If this thing falls from a high altitude, it might be able to smash the Earth away from its rotation course. Roar. The golden lion's hair is upside down. Standing on the top floor of a building, no matter what thunder and raindrops hit him, the battleship in front of him is really terrifying. Compared with the current battleship, the battleship of the beast civilization is like an elephant ant-like. If it were really alien life this time, the Earth would be completely finished. Facing this kind of warship, I don't even have the slightest courage to resist. Damn it. Chi. Wangwen uttered a letter. When faced with the civilization of the beast god, he did not have this feeling of being suppressed. It's big. What is it? Is it really finished? How is this kind of warship made? Human beings, mutant beasts, and all eternally intelligent creatures are all in fear. When this battleship lay across the East China Sea, even the branches and leaves of the living plants that had covered the entire Earth shook crazily, as if they wanted to find the safest place to hide. And at this moment, Yi-Bei's body is in the control room of the battleship. Looking at the various installations full of futuristic technology here, he felt dazzled. Moreover, the biggest impression given to him here is that it is big and very big. Even if his body is in the largest state, Yi-Bei does not feel that it is narrow. System, what kind of energy is used here? A warship of this size always needs energy to operate, right? Yi-Bei spit out Shinzi. This place is too big to be observed at all, so he directly asked the system. When Yi-Bei's words fell, there was no systematic answer, but a very gentle voice suddenly sounded. This warship uses positron energy, water, and light sources. As long as there is enough air, light, or the water source can complete the energy reserve in 3 seconds. The voice appeared, and immediately before Yi-Bei, a python appeared without any warning. This snake is less than 10 meters in size. The body is made of diamonds, releasing a charming light. Those eyes were deep, but they looked very seductive and charming. If you look at the aesthetics of the snake tribe, you will find that this female snake is extremely perfect, as if it were the most elaborately crafted existence in the universe. Mesmerized. But Yi-Bei is different.
Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed today's episode. If you did, please like, share, and subscribe.